The night the truth finally came out, the old sheriff sat alone in his office, staring at a single piece of paper. His hands were shaking. Outside, red and blue police lights flashed against the walls. After 20 years, the mysterious crime that haunted the town was no longer a mystery. The name written on the paper was someone nobody expected. Someone everyone trusted. The sheriff whispered, "We were wrong, for 20 years. Then the phone rang. That moment was the end of the story. But to understand how it all began, we have to go back to a quiet summer morning in a small American town. 20 years earlier, the town of Clearwater Ridge was the kind of place where nothing bad ever seemed to happen. Kids rode bikes without fear. Neighbors waved every morning. Doors were left unlocked. Everyone knew everyone. On June 14th, just after sunrise, that peace was broken. A young woman named Emily Parker, age 19, did not come home from her night shift at a local diner. Emily was kind, shy, and loved by the whole town. She always called her mother when she got off work. That night, the phone never rang. By noon, her mother was worried. By evening, the police were searching. Emily's car was found parked near an old dirt road by the woods. The driver's door was open. Her purse was inside. Her phone was gone. There were no signs of a struggle. No blood. No witnesses. Emily Parker had vanished. The town had never seen anything like this before. Police cars filled the streets. Officers knocked on every door. Search teams walked through the woods for days. Volunteers joined, calling Emily's name again and again. Nothing. Days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into months. The case went cold. But the questions never stopped. Who took Emily? Why her? And how could someone disappear without leaving a single clue? Detective Mark Reynolds, a young investigator at the time, refused to give up. He believed the answer was hiding in plain sight. He reviewed every report, every photo, every interview. There were suspects, but no proof. One was Emily's ex-boyfriend, Jason Miller. They had broken up a month earlier. People said they fought sometimes. Jason was questioned again and again. His alibi checked out. There was no evidence. Another was a quiet man who lived near the woods, Thomas Reed. He kept to himself. People said he was strange. Police searched his home. Nothing. Year after year, the town moved on, but Detective Reynolds did not. Emily's mother kept her bedroom untouched. Every birthday, every holiday, she waited. As technology changed, so did the investigation. Old files were moved to computers. Evidence boxes collected dust in storage rooms. Some officers retired. Some passed away. The mystery remained. 10 years passed. Detective Reynolds was now older, slower, but still obsessed with the case. One night, he reopened the evidence box. Inside was a small envelope that had been overlooked for years. A piece of fabric. It was found stuck under the driver's seat of Emily's car. At the time, it meant nothing. But now, with better technology, it could mean everything. The fabric was sent to a lab. The results came back with a partial DNA profile. Not enough to match anyone in the system back then. Again, the trail went cold. 5 more years passed. Clearwater Ridge grew. New families moved in. Kids who once searched for Emily were now adults. Some people said the case should be forgotten. But then, something changed everything. A new detective, Sarah Collins, joined the department. She was young, sharp, and curious. While reviewing cold cases, Emily Parker's file caught her attention. One question bothered her. Why was Emily's phone never found? Sarah believed the phone was the key. She tracked old cell tower data, something impossible when Emily vanished. It took months. Then one night, she found something strange. Emily's phone last pinged 2 miles away from where her car was found, near private property that had never been searched. The land belonged to a respected man in town, Robert Hayes, a church volunteer, a youth coach, a man everyone trusted. Robert Hayes had never been a suspect. Not once. Sarah dug deeper. She found that on the night Emily disappeared, Robert told police he was home asleep. No one questioned it. No one checked. Because he was a good man. Sarah requested a warrant. It was denied. There was not enough evidence. Years passed again. Then, 20 years after Emily vanished, a small miracle happened. Robert Hayes was arrested in another state for an unrelated crime. His DNA was taken. Back in Clearwater Ridge, a lab technician ran the profile through the system. A match. The fabric from Emily's car. Robert Hayes. The trusted man. The friendly neighbor. The youth coach. The truth hit like a storm. Police rushed to his old property. They searched land that had never been searched before. Behind a tool shed, beneath the soil, they found what they feared most. Emily Parker. 20 years later, the town broke apart. People cried. People screamed. People refused to believe it. And as police prepared to arrest Robert Hayes for the crime that haunted a town for 2 decades, a new question emerged. Was he really acting alone? Because evidence found at the scene suggested someone else had helped him. And that person was still free. The nightmare wasn't over. The arrest of Robert Hayes shook Clearwater Ridge in a way no storm ever could. Police cars lined the street outside his old house. Cameras flashed. Neighbors watched from behind curtains, unable to believe that the man who waved every morning was now in handcuffs. When detectives questioned Robert, he said nothing at first. He stared at the table. His hands stayed flat. His face showed no fear, no sadness. Then Detective Sarah Collins placed one photo in front of him. It was the piece of fabric taken from Emily Parker's car. Robert's eyes changed. He swallowed hard. Still, he didn't speak. That silence frightened everyone more than words ever could. As the investigation moved quickly, another shocking fact came out. When police searched Robert's past deeper, they found something disturbing. He had been questioned in another missing person case years earlier, in a different town. That case was never solved either. The thought was terrifying. Emily might not have been the only one. Detective Collins pushed harder. "You didn't do this alone," she said during the interview. "Someone helped you." Robert finally looked up, and then he smiled. That smile sent chills through the room. "You'll never prove it," he said quietly. But Sarah already had a plan. Police re-interviewed every person Robert worked with 20 years ago. Old co-workers, old friends, old neighbors. At first, nothing came up. Then one name returned again and again. Daniel Brooks. Daniel was Robert's close friend back then. They volunteered together. They coached kids together. On the night Emily vanished, Daniel said he was just driving around. Police never checked it. DNA from the burial site didn't belong to one person. It belonged to 2. Daniel Brooks had moved away years ago. He was living quietly in Arizona. Police flew out the next morning. When officers knocked on Daniel's door, he opened it calmly. Too calmly. As if he had been waiting. At the station, Daniel broke fast. He cried. He shook. He said he never meant for it to happen. What Daniel told them made the story darker than anyone imagined. On the night Emily disappeared, Robert asked Daniel for help. He said Emily had found something and was threatening to tell. Daniel didn't ask what. He followed Robert out of fear, not knowing what it would become. They planned to scare her. They didn't plan to kill her. When Emily tried to run, everything went wrong. Afterward, they agreed on one thing. Never speak about it. Ever. Daniel lived with the guilt for 20 years. Robert lived normally. That truth broke the town completely. The trial was long and painful. Emily's mother sat in court every day, holding a photo of her daughter. When Robert was found guilty, the room went silent. Life in prison. Daniel received a long sentence as well. But the case still wasn't finished. Before sentencing, Robert asked to speak privately with Detective Collins. What he said made her blood run cold. "There are others," he whispered. "Not like Emily. But secrets. They are buried everywhere." He refused to explain. Weeks later, police reopened other cold cases connected to Robert's past. Some were linked. Some weren't. But one thing was certain. Emily Parker's case proved something terrifying. The most dangerous criminals don't always look dangerous. They smile. They wave. They live next door. 20 years after the town lost its peace, they finally got the truth. But the cost of waiting so long was something they could never undo. And as Clearwater Ridge tried to heal, one final discovery reminded everyone of a chilling fact. Sometimes justice comes late, and sometimes it almost never comes at all.